Alright guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today what I wanted to talk to you guys about are the armchair bushcrafters or survivalists, and people that have all this kit and all this gear that they never actually use, but yet they're always on forums and they're always in Facebook groups trying to give you advice on how best to use yours and what is good quality and what is not, and recommending products that they've never even tested. And I've just noticed a trend lately. It's getting to be very, very common, especially in Facebook groups. People set up these photos and they post them, and they've got their gear. You know, they got a pack sitting on top of a log, a little kerosene lamp, or maybe a UCO candle lantern, something like that, sitting next to it, and they've got it lit, and you've got the fall leaves all around, and everything looks all pretty. And they got a knife, a bushcraft knife. It's out of the sheath and it's lying there beside it. Maybe a ferrocerium rod laying there across the blade of the knife or something like that. And while it all makes for really pretty pictures, you can tell that these guys just aren't using their kit. Okay, you look at what they have and everything looks brand new, like they just unboxed it off the Amazon truck yesterday. Okay, you look at my kit and it's battered, it's beat, okay, it's scratched, it's scuffed, it looks used because I do use my stuff. But these guys are setting themselves up for failure because they're armchair bushcrafters. They don't have any real world experience. They're not using their kit out in the field, and they buy all this stuff and they read a couple of books and watch a couple of YouTube videos where, you know, Les Stroud and Morris Kohansky and bushcrafters like Dave Canterbury and stuff like that, and they think that knowledge equates to skill, and it really, really does not. Now, just as an example, the last post that I seen, I'm not gonna talk about the Facebook group it was in, but this guy had this set up, and like I said, everything, his gear was nice. It was nice gear, but it all looked absolutely brand new. Now, I'm not talking about, well, maybe he just keeps it all clean and well maintained. Of course you're going to do that, but your kit is still going to look used, okay? And as an example, like my UCO candle lantern, okay? I don't use it a lot. When I do use it, I use it often, but only for a few minutes at a time, and you can tell that. Look at this top. That should be shiny stainless steel like this, is what that should look like. So you can tell that I commonly have a flame in this candle. You know, even lighting it for 10 minutes, sometimes up to a half an hour, I'm only on my second candle. However, it's a 9-hour candle. So the fact that I'm on my second 9-hour candle tells you that I've lit this lamp, what, 20 times, 30 times? You know, it actually gets used, okay? Camping gear, like Glacier Cup, look at that. You can tell I use my Glacier Cup, and that's clean, but that's what it does when you cook on an open fire with your kit. So, I can set all my stuff up and take a picture, but it's obvious when you look at a picture that I stage that my kit is actually used, that I'm actually out here getting my dirt time in, getting experience with my gear. My Mora, for example, you guys have seen this before. It's my Mora Carbon. Look at it. You can tell it's a used knife. I've been carrying it all day, so even the handle is dirty. You can see I've got scuffing. Look at that right there. It's a used knife, okay? It's not something I break out for YouTube videos. Look at my sheath. See this damage right here? From having it on my hip and from having this bend the wrong way or this way, and me heating it to bend it back into shape and get it reasonably straight again. So you can see that in the plastic, okay? It's used. My equipped two-person sleeping, or my two-person hammock, you guys have seen that in a lot of videos repeatedly. It gets used. It gets left up for weeks at a time. Ferro rods. You guys know, I've already told you in a couple of videos now, my go-to is flint and steel. So I've got a Bayite ferro rod, and it's a damn fine rod. Well worth the expenditure. But you can tell that it's a used rod. It's not overly used, because as I said, flint and steel, that's my go-to. So I do not use a ferro rod very often, but it's not brand new, powder coated black and no signs of wear, right? Even my alcohol stove, even the bag my alcohol stove is in, that's about to wear completely through, you know. You can tell that this alcohol stove is actually used. Look at my brass. Okay, look at the tarnishing on the brass. I use this stove a lot, especially during times of the year that I can't have fires because, like, they're just now cutting soybeans out here. I've not been able to have a fire out where my fire pit is because I've had an entire field of dry soybeans waiting for them to be harvested. So my go-to becomes an alcohol stove or my butane stove in that situation. But again, you can tell that I use my equipment. Pack. Look at my pack. It's a little bit dirty because I need to give it a brushing down. But I mean, look at my leather. See all that scarring, all that scratching and stuff? This is what your stuff's gonna look like if you're actually doing something with it. Because now I can keep it brushed and I can keep my leather oiled, and I can take all this canvas and I can brush this oil canvas down and keep everything as dust free as possible and clean. But that right there, all that scarring and that scratching, is because it's on my back as I'm walking through the crap like you see behind me here. I'm going through dense underbrush with this pack on my back because my kit is actually used. Now, I'm not tooting my own horn because I'm saying that I'm better than somebody else or whatever. The whole point behind this little bit of a rant today is I see so many guys that are doing this, okay? They buy this stuff and they stockpile it. And they watch YouTube videos and somebody says, oh, well, see, this is a great sleeping pad. Like my Ecotech Outdoors Hibernate sleeping pad inflatable. It is a 0-degree pad. It will get me down well into freezing temperatures and allow me to sleep even on the ground if I must without getting hypothermia from conduction. It's a really good pad. It's a $60 pad, not super expensive, but certainly not bottom of the line. But I've used it. I've got a leak in it somewhere. I think even though it's made of really durable material, I've actually got a pinhole somewhere that I need to find and try to actually patch. Because now that the ground is really starting to get cold at night, on some nights, it would behoove me to have this thing serviced, find out where my leak is, see if I can fix it. Why does it leak? It's a used piece of my kit. Okay, maybe this applies to you, but if you're one of those guys that you're just buying stuff off Amazon because bushcraft is like the trend, it's the in thing now, because you've got people like Dave Canterbury putting out excellent videos, and you know, Survival Lily doing her videos, and there's just a whole bunch of people, okay, even like Girl in the Woods and Stephanie Margaret, she's kind of disappeared, I don't know what's going on there, but there are a whole lot of bushcrafters right now, and bushcrafting is kind of a trend. It's kind of the in thing to do. And it's good for you. It gets you out of the house. Like I could be sitting in front of the house right now watching TV, but I'm not. I'm out here. And that's why I love it. It keeps me out here where the air is cleaner, and it keeps me active, and it keeps me doing something. It's good for my mental health. It's good for my physical health. Okay? And you guys, if this applies to you, don't feel targeted or anything like that. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm saying you need to go a step beyond what you're doing, okay? There's nothing wrong with buying the kit, and there's nothing wrong with watching videos of other bushcrafters, and every time Dave Canterbury says, hey, I got this new pack, I got this new Rainfly, whatever, it's a really good piece of kit, I just, you know, we've got it in R&D right now, and this is going to be the price point I'm thinking about releasing it as, and all this, and you see that, and you think, okay, well, that's great, and when it hits the Pathfinder store, you order one. But if you don't get it out here and actually use it, how do you know how to best use it? You know? Your kit is an extension of yourself, okay? If you're buying all this stuff and you are not bringing it out into the woods and putting it through its paces, okay? If it's not beat up, if it's not dented, if it's not blackened from being in the fire, if it's not scarred up from being on your back when you walk through trees and undergrowth and all this kind of stuff, you know, you could put yourself into a situation where you're thinking, I'm pretty good to go because I've got this and I've got this and I've got this and I've got this. You know, I pretty much have everything I'm going to need, a whole basic kit, you know. But if you don't have the experience in best ways to use it, and if you don't have knowledge about best ways to set up shelters for different seasons, different situations, you know, you can't always just throw up a plow point. Sometimes you might need to do an A-frame. Sometimes you might need to carry a little bigger rain fly with you, like a 10 by 10 or a 12 by 12, and do a fully enclosed shelter for certain kinds of weather conditions. You know, all that matters. You only gain that knowledge through experience and actual use in the real world, okay? So if you're buying up all your bushcraft gear and you're sitting here thinking, one day, someday, man, one of these days, I got all this stuff, and if something happens, I'm ready. You're not ready, okay? You need to be out putting in your dirt time and making sure you get ready, because experience is a whole lot different than just simple knowledge. I can watch YouTube videos to learn how to do anything and say I know how to do it, but then go to do it and realize it was a hell of a lot harder than I thought, because I have knowledge, but knowledge does not equate to or translate to experience, okay? You need to know, is this good enough? This is stainless steel. Is this good enough for me? Have I put it through its paces? Have I tested it thoroughly? Have I come to the realization that maybe stainless steel isn't right for me and maybe I need to upgrade to titanium, whether it be for durability purposes or whether it be for, you know, wanting to go ultralight and realizing what I do carry, my basic pack, is too much, it's too heavy, and I don't really want to eliminate anything out of what I normally carry. So my best option is to try to reduce weight by upgrading to titanium, so I'm carrying less poundage but the same amount of items. You only get that experience out here, okay? Only out here. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Sorry, like I said, just a little bit of a rant, because I've noticed a lot lately. There'd be a lot of pictures posted on Facebook groups, and it's all brand new kit. It's obviously never been touched, never been used. It's just set up for a photo op, and then it's taken down and put back in the house, and the dude went right back to his chair and sat down and went right back to playing World of Warcraft or whatever, you know? Armchair camping doesn't work. You got to get out here and you got to do it, okay? For real. Get experience with your stuff. All right. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you can reach down there and hit that subscription button. If you choose to subscribe, you can reach over there and ding the notification bell, and you can select all notifications to be notified when I upload future videos. Questions, comments, hit me up, drop those down below. I will see you guys on the next one. I really appreciate your views and your support. Thank you so much, guys. Y'all have a good day.